Navigation exam. Aliens take a week to chart a course while humans master it in moments using the stars. The examination chamber aboard the alien vessel was eerily silent, save for the low hum of the ship's artificial atmosphere systems. Cadets of the Zelvari race, a species renowned for their hyperlogical minds, sat at their designated stations, their elongated fingers tapping away at holographic consoles as they calculated hyperspace coordinates. It was the final test in the Galactic Navigation Academy, the ultimate rite of passage before one could earn the rank of navigator. The Zelvari were meticulous, valuing precision above all else. For them, plotting a safe course through the cosmos was a complex puzzle requiring days of rigorous computations, cross-checking gravitational shifts, and compensating for dark matter anomalies. The slightest miscalculation could send a vessel, veering off course, possibly into an uncharted singularity or deep into the gravity wells of dying stars. This was why they took their time. Every equation needed to be perfect. Among the Zelvari cadets, however, sat an anomaly. A human named Lieutenant Jack Carter. He leaned back in his chair, arms crossed, gazing up at the simulated night sky projected on the chamber's domed ceiling. While his alien peers scoured terabytes of spatial data, Jack simply smiled. He had grown up hearing stories of ancient mariners on Earth, men who braved vast oceans with nothing but the stars to guide them. To him, the challenge before him was no different. It was just another sea, another set of lights in the sky. The exam proctor, a towering Zelvari instructor named Vorlon, glanced at Jack with thinly veiled skepticism. "Lieutenant Carter," he said, his voice carrying the weight of centuries of tradition. "I assume you are working on your calculations?" Jack smirked. "Already done." The room fell silent. The cadets turned their elongated heads in unison, their translucent eyes blinking with disbelief. Forlon's expression remained impassive, but his fingers tightened around his data tablet. "You claim to have charted a course already?" Jack nodded. "Yep." He pointed up at the projected sky. "See, where I come from, we've been navigating using the stars for thousands of years. Sailors on Earth didn't need quantum computers, just a good eye and a steady hand." Forlon's mandibles clicked, a Zelvari gesture of skepticism. "Anecdotes of primitive navigation aside, you are expected to demonstrate your calculations in accordance with Galactic fleet standards." Jack sighed, then stood up. He strolled over to the central command console and tapped a few buttons. Instantly, a holographic map of the test's designated sector appeared, filled with colored gravitational fields and trajectory lines. "All right," Jack said, rolling up his sleeves. "You're all trying to calculate the safest hyperspace route around the Deneb Nebula, avoiding singularities and subspace eddies, right? Problem is, you're overcomplicating it." He reached up and highlighted a constellation near the edge of the map. "See those stars? They've been in the same relative position for millennia. Ancient Earth mariners used the stars as fixed points to navigate the seas. Same principle applies here. The trick is trusting your instincts instead of letting numbers tie you down." The Zelvari cadets exchanged glances, their minds struggling to process such an unorthodox approach. Meanwhile, Vorlon examined Jack's proposed route. After a long pause, his mandibles twitched in what could only be described as begrudging admiration. "Your calculations are correct," he admitted, his voice tinged with reluctant respect. "Your route is viable, and you completed the task in a fraction of the time." Jack grinned. "Guess I pass?" Vorlon hesitated before giving a slow nod. "Yes, but I suggest you do not let this success fill you with arrogance. Sometimes precision is necessary." Jack chuckled. "Fair enough. But sometimes you just gotta look up and trust the stars." As the exam concluded, the Zelvari cadets remained deep in thought. For all their advanced technology, they had just witnessed something humbling. A human, with nothing but intuition and knowledge passed down through generations, solving, in moments, what took their advanced minds a week. And somewhere, high above in the void, the stars continued to shine, as they always had, as they always would. Silent, steadfast guides for those willing to trust in them. As Jack walked out of the chamber, a few of the cadets approached him hesitantly. One of them, a young Zelvari with iridescent skin, spoke first. "How did your ancestors know the stars would not deceive them?" Jack thought for a moment before answering. "Because they never did. They rose and set in patterns we could rely on. The stars don't lie. They just wait for someone who knows how to read them." That night, in their private quarters, some of the Zelvari cadets pulled up star charts not as navigational problems, but as something more profound, an ancient and beautiful truth written across the fabric of the cosmos. And for the first time they wondered if they had been looking at them the wrong way all along. Months later, a young Zelvari named Selvarin found himself on his first real mission, piloting a reconnaissance vessel through an unfamiliar sector of deep space. When his onboard navigation system unexpectedly failed, panic threatened to consume him. But then he remembered Lieutenant Carter's words. Looking up through the viewport, he studied the stars, their positions etched into his memory. Slowly he aligned his course, trusting in what he had once dismissed as primitive. To his amazement, the ship followed a perfect path, avoiding danger without the aid of any advanced calculations. When he returned to base, he reported his success, and for the first time in recorded Zelvari history, their rigid methods began to shift. The idea that instinct and ancient wisdom could work alongside technology began to take hold. And so, thanks to one human's insight, the art of celestial navigation found new life in the galaxy's most advanced race. Jack Carter, unaware ion he had sparked, continued his travels, guided as always by the stars.